All right, so a pleasant good afternoon and thanks for joining. My name is Prince Moba and this is Focus on Liberia TV and Prime FM. I am here at Kerry Street at Sampies. Sampies is an intellectual center here in central Monrovia, where I normally come to interact with Liberians who can come here. Most of them are intellectuals that come here on a daily basis to discuss the national issue. I stopped by to talk to them on the Wednesday, April 23rd, ruling of the Supreme Court into the Bill of Information filed by embattled Speaker Councillor Che Fonade Kofa, in which the court ruled that Councillor Kofa remains the legitimate speaker and that every other thing done under the leadership of Rachel Kuhn were all unconstitutional, and calling on that body to adhere to the ruling. Minutes after the ruling, Representative Kuhn or Majority Speaker Kuhn and his men or his lawmakers on the other side released a press statement rejecting the court's ruling and vowing not to adhere to that, and vowed or promised that the House of Representatives will continue to work, under his leadership. So my name is Prince, like I said from the onset. My name is Prince Moba. I said that I work for Focus on Liberia and Prime FM, and I'm here to this afternoon. Before me, as a gentleman, let me speak to you quickly. Good afternoon. How are you doing, sir?
Good afternoon. My name is Victor India.
Mr. We are welcome.
Thank you.
So you had to be a bit audible due to the noise in the background. We're in the street, of course, Liberia. University is a problem, so we have generators in the background. So I think you heard the platform that I've already laid for this discussion. I'm also sure that you followed the ruling, or you have read in the newspaper or listened to radio stations. What do you make of the court's ruling, and what do you make of the position from the quote-unquote majority bloc or the majority speaker? What do you make of that?
Well, first of all, I would like to say thank you to the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia. Though the decision they came down with, the ruling they came down with, is what they came down with previously. But I'm glad today that they make it very simple, that even an uneducated, someone who have not sat in the classroom, understood what they said is going to do.
Okay.
And it clearly shows that the majority bloc, they knew that they were in error, but they chose what? They chose to disregard the rule of law. And during the hearing, lawyers representing the majority bloc and lawyers representing the minority bloc, Councillor Vani Shemon and Abba Sins represented the majority bloc. Councillor Jonito Massaquan, Councillor Arthur Johnson, and another veteran councillor who served at the Capitol building, I just forgot his name, represented the minority bloc. And the justices, one of the justices posted a question to Councillor Vani Sherman, who represents the majority bloc, asking that when they decided to have a separate forum, where was the speaker? He said the speaker was here, he was in the country, and the speaker was always in section. There is a legal sitting place for the House of Representatives and for the Liberian Senate at the Capitol building. That they are sitting place legally. But being disrespectful to the rule of law, I think we listen to what Representative Richard Kuhn said.
And that is my question to you, that is my interest. So, I mean, the politics of Capitol Hill is majority. I mean, for the three or more say we are under Richard Coon, and in fact, I mean, we're not going to bow down to this ruling, in fact, to hell with the ruling. What do you have to say to that? That is the interest. What do you think will happen if the court ruling is disrespected, disregarded?
Okay, if the court ruling is regarded, first of all, the most important thing is to make sure that the executive branch of government, make sure that Richard Coon, they withdraw all immunity that was given to Richard Coon as speaker. They withdraw all the immunity for him, effective immediately. He should vacate the speaker's office, turn over the license plates, the vehicles, and the security should be withdrawn by the executive branch of government.
Why if the executive doesn't do that? Because as I speak to you, I mean, he's still in jail, so immediately. Why if the executive, I mean, doesn't do that?
If the executive does not do that, then it's left with the president, President Joseph Lima Bwata. If he decides to be disrespectful to the constitution that he took oath to defend and protect, then that's his government.
Finally,
I know there, the citizen of the Republic of Liberia will speak.
What could you think that speaking will be? Will it be mass protest? Will it be maybe going to the Capitol building? Maybe
under the laws of Liberia, citizens have the right to protest. When they are disenchanted with activities of the government.
Finally, as we tell you for you to go to the other gentleman, I just want to ask, finally one last question. But then what we won next this morning, we saw, I mean, members of the very legislature who believe in, who think us has said they believe in the rule of law. I mean, taking down photograph of Richard Coon, busting it down, I mean, invading, to some extent invading through the conference room. What do you have to tell them?
Well, if that is done, it was wrong on the part of the minority, a member of the minority lawmaker who did that. You cannot use too wrong to correct and right.
Thank you, sir. All right, so folks, I'm still here. Let me talk to another gentleman. We're still here at Sampix. My name is Prince Moba. This is Focus on Liberia Television. I'm here. Let me talk to this gentleman. Welcome. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, welcome to Focus on Liberia TV.
Thank you very much.
So you have to be audible because we have generator sound all around us because we're in the street.
Yeah.
Sadly, we don't have electricity and business. People need to make business, so they have to put our generators on. But I mean, give me your own perspective. What do you make of the ruling yesterday?
Well, for me, I think that ruling is belated.
It is belated.
Yeah, it's belated.
Okay.
People have come up with that ruling, you know, since from the beginning, that from the first beginning, they should have come up with that ruling. But since, you know, because of the delay, it's the ones that making, I mean, the majority group think that they have the right.
And what do you think the ruling means? Do they have the right or not? What do you think that ruling means? Even though belated, in the law they say justice delayed, justice is never denied. Even though belated, but what do you make of it? I mean, the court actually, I mean, went by the law. Did the court say the right thing, or was there some politics into the ruling?
For me, I see the whole thing was very political.
Okay, the ruling of the court.
The whole ruling was very political. I mean, the country is divided on political now.
Okay.
You understand? From the onset, as I said, if the guys could have come out with a definite ruling, we could have been here today. You understand? And I said the reason why the majority group, or the majority group, feeling that they have, you know, they have a case is because of the ruling. Because when they came out with the first ruling, it was ambiguous. They both, you know, they both sides feeling victorious. You understand? It was clear to the wisdom of the justice minister that is the personal item. See, they were clear on the wisdom of the justice minister that is the personal item. And these guys, because of the duration, these guys think that they have a case. But since the Supreme Court have come up with a ruling, I mean, the Supreme Court is a better thing. No matter what it says, whether you are pleased of that, you have to adhere to the Supreme Court ruling.
Majority Speaker Richard Kun and the others have said we cannot bow down to this ruling. We can't sit down on Councillor J. Fernandez. In fact, he is a former speaker. He's been removed. We have the constitutional power. We have the majority strength. What do you make of that?
He does not have the vote to violate the Supreme Court.
If he does that, obviously that means the executive needs to take all immunity from him. The executive probably might not do that because the executive if the executive doesn't do that.
No, the executive has to, because the Supreme Court have already ruled.
So that's why
the Supreme Court is the final arbiter of rule of law. Whatever the Supreme Court says, that's the final. Whether you like it or that law is different from politics.
Great.
You understand?
Great.
The Supreme Court have come up with the ruling. You understand? So every one of us we need to obey the rule. Whether it favor us or not, it should be obeyed.
What do you expect to see coming from the legislature in the coming days? I mean, I'm asking this question based on what I saw this morning when I saw some lawmakers, to be specific, Representative Yaka Koluba, Representative J. Marvin Cole, moving from one office to another, informing people that hey, we are back. I mean, we are legitimate guys. I mean, don't listen to anybody else. Even Representative Koluba removed one of the photos of Speaker, quote-unquote, Majority Speaker Kun and brought it down the ground. What do you foresee in the coming days? Do you see more anarchy? Do you see?
Yaka is a hooligan. But the law speaks, it was not left in the preview of an individual to act.
Okay.
They have procedure there. What he did, I remove and more. It's not in accordance with the law.
Therefore,
he couldn't tell us that. I mean, he came from the background where there's, he's never disciplined. That's why he demonstrated what there. And the people of District 10 should get to understand that they hooligan that they have elected. They should make sure that he should not surface in the hall.
Thank you so much.
You have no right to bring out any picture of the speaker. You understand? You can do it through civility, not through violence.
Thanks, sir. Your name again, sir. Thank you so much. So, folks, we stay here. My name is Prince. This is Focus on Liberia Television. I'm here to speak I'm here to speak with Liberian citizens to get their view on the Wednesday. Gentlemen, we are live here. The videos been monitored across the world, and then you have to make your point in a civil manner. Like I said, I'm here to speak with Liberians to get their view on the Supreme Court ruling on yesterday, Wednesday, the 23rd of April, in which the court stated or ruled that Representative Richard Kun, or quote-unquote Majority Richard Kun, is team of General Sari, representatives on his side, acted illegally, unconstitutionally, and all they done was not in line with the laws of Liberia. Liberians are speaking on them. My brother, welcome. How you doing?
Good evening.
What is your name?
Nowadays, Kaldominos Michel Kanga. I'm a special assistant in the office of Tomo Elizabeth Boswa, the House of Representatives.
What's your view, sir?
From the initial state of this whole case, led by Honorable Joseph Excellency Joseph Nima Bwaka, started this whole war. But people win election in this country, Liberia, they feel that they are assisting God. They even harbor in a mind that they help God for creation. When they were creating mankind, they were co-creator to God. The matter called the poster on a page. When you win an election, the country does not belong to you. When you get a number, you get a speakership. So when Joseph Nima Bwaka and his team lose the speakership to Francis Kofa, they took it as an offense. Instead of going the country, they started looking according to the now. And we had an opposition speaker. It means that our tenure may be cut short, maybe a one thing, where the speaker will be potential enough to sponsor CDC campaign. This is why the first person that signed under the resolution was in April on Bwaka Farm, representing 17 banks from Grand Bassa County. But the first lawmaker to sign on that resolution on Bwaka Farm in Pomi.
Were you there?
I'm aware. They came to my boss man for negotiation Mosan. So I'm aware that these people, they just want to cover up. Having said so, on the legal proceeding, the Supreme Court first ruling is not even there for this ruling. It just every discipline will use our own language. When they use the word ultra virus, that Latin word means you are also beyond the scope of the law. So their action was illegal to even elect people, to even have parallel session. All these things were illegal. And the Supreme Court was very clear, there is no quorum with all its people. The minority...
They said they had a deputy speaker there.
No.
And they said by law the deputy speaker presides. And I saw this.
That's not by law either.
Okay.
For the deputy speaker to preside, it must be instruction from the speaker. Then in the case of the Senate, I work in the Senate. Our filing clerk and the office of Senator Newbiganga Lawrence. In the absence of current president, by the time of Vice President Tuta Bwaga, with communication to the Senate at the time, Philly or whoever that was protesting to preside. But in the person of the Vice President, the protesting preside. For the president to preside over the Senate and me, there must be instruction for the Vice President or a communication that will not be in session today. So if the speaker doesn't sanction that the speaker should go on it. Okay. So they say they have majority and the Supreme Court told them, if you can be having 1,000 people, one the speaker is not there, is not considered quorum either. So there is no even quorum with all the speaker.
Okay, so now that the Supreme Court ruled on yesterday, and the other side, the majority side, had rejected that, they maintained that they cannot bow down to that ruling. What do you make of that? What have you to say?
They have no authority to do so. Even the president, if the Supreme Court rule against you, you have no authority to say no. You must adhere. Because the president, the legislators, they all took off to protect the sanity, the laws of Liberia and the Constitution. We're custodian of the Constitution, the final operator of justice and law in this country. So when they are rule, it means the government of Liberia has spoken. So every government official that appointed a more ali for making regular posts, they were counterproductive to our democracy because the Senate opinion only to associate justices and judges of the Supreme Court. They had an opinion on matter. But when a Supreme Court rules, no government official is entitled for the Senate opinion. You only, when you are from executive, you are entitled to enforcement. Because enforcement power according to our constitution is inherent in the executive. Legislative power inherent in the legislature. So the judicial power of our country inherent in the Supreme Court and the judicial branch. So that the final operator of law. So when the rule they say, Kanga will be there today. Nobody can be accurate to say, oh, we get implemented. When the Supreme Court rules it, they will kill Kanga today by hanging. It will be implemented by the executive. Because even the sheriff are assigned to the Supreme Court, they are private military. They are for justice ministry, on executive. That can carry you to the execution, can hang you. So even when they send you for 3 years in prison, that sheriff can take you to that the executive sends sheriff for the Ministry of Justice to aid the judiciary, to aid the legislature. Even the sergeant are, they own the justice ministry, they own the legislature. They assign at the legislature, but they own executive. So when one lawmaker misbehaves, they can tell the sergeant how to pull you up. Like executive doing the enforcement. Enforcement power not in the hand of the legislature. Senator made vehicle and traffic law. When somebody violates, and that senator will arrest you. That police will arrest you under the justice ministry part of the executive.
So in the midst of all of this, what do you foresee in the coming days? Because the other guys are saying we can't respect that as we speak to you. Majority Speaker Richard will still enjoys the privileges and right. He still rights. The REP one, he has the security. I mean, others went there today trying to move in and warn people of respecting the other side. How do you picture the legislature in the coming days?
Let me use the word of for the family who said legal talk. All the people who saying to you that we not respect the Supreme Court ruling, that legal talk for them. You have no authority to do so. I'm just being, I foresee the way the majority black, the purported guys and the majority black are moving, they want to create chaos in this country. That's what we expect the president, the 42 years of experience, that are people posted up to kind of arrest the situation because the side of the legislature, he has sent a number of lawmakers on the Rescue Alliance and need to talk to the people to respect the rule of law. Because 80% of the country come out together and say they don't want President Kwaga to be president, will be protesting every time. Doesn't mean because we say we don't want, even 45%, I mean 50% of people, they say they want Kwaga, but then go through the Supreme, the legislature to do pure impeachment, to go to the Senate to argue the trial impeachment for the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court to be presiding before they take that vote to tell to remove the president. Can we say we don't want them to be president? You can even get majority of them follow the due process of law. Even in impeachment procedure. So President John Nima Bwaga is challenging him, if I am demanding him to enforce the Supreme Court ruling. Because if he doesn't enforce the Supreme Court ruling, power as a president, it means that his powers will be illegitimate and like will lead to chaos and there will be no government in this country.
Thank you so much. Your name again, sir?
All right.
Okay, folks. So we are here, Liberians are equal. Liberians are equal. Liberians are equal to speak, to focus on After him. Okay, so folks, thanks for following us. My name is Springs. We are here. Liberians are eager to give their opinion on this issue. As you can see, we are here at Sampis. Sampis is here on Kerry Street in Central Monrovia. My name is Springs Morba. This is Focus on Liberia. The time check here in Monrovia is 17 minutes after 5 o'clock p.m. It's the official time here. I'm speaking to Liberian citizens. Before me, as a gentleman, good afternoon, sir. How you doing? Good afternoon, sir. How you doing? Your name again, sir?
My name is Jala.
Mr. Jala, welcome to this live interview.
Thank you very much.
You have to be a bit audible, but just give me your own perspective on what do you make of the ruling yesterday, and what do you make of the press statement from the majority bloc that we're not going to respect the Supreme Court? I mean, they're talking their own thing in the Liberian turn. What do you make of that?
The Supreme Court gave their ruling yesterday, and that is their constitutional mandate, so they accomplished that very well. And I think that OFA won the legal aspect, the political aspect, they lost, and majority black coming in that they will not respect the ruling. It means that they are not abiding by the law they are making, right? If they have any other qualm or any other this agreement, I think they should channel it through the process of law.
Okay, so in short, you just telling them, say, hey, you lost the legal battle. The Supreme Court has spoken. Respect the rule of law. Go back to the chambers if you want to remove from the cover. I mean, govern your forces. I mean, regenerate the signatures and so on. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not raising that they should go under the gabble of COFA, because under democratic ethics, you cannot force anyone to sit under somebody's gabble, because that's the freedom of speech. There is freedom of speech, and everyone should abide by the freedom of movement, freedom of association. So since some people have already given their ruling that these guys are sitting unconstitutionally, then it left with them whether they can govern us in a way, constitutional way, to remove COFA, or they will remain, because they have already declared that they lost confidence in COFA, right? So they don't want to sit under him. And now I don't know whether there is any other law that will compare them to sit under Speaker COFA.
I like that aspect. Yeah, I don't know.
Even though the Constitution says that if Article 93 says that if the Speaker does not meet the quorum, they should compare all absentee members to join them so that they can meet like the servant, they have to have business. And now I don't know how that compare aspect can be, that proportion can be. So it left with the speaker to write the Supreme Court that even though it gave me the legal right, but now the people have refused to sit under my gavel. What can I do? Maybe another bit of information, you need to find another bit of information to Supreme Court, that Supreme Court will channel, give away that the speaker will act for these guys to be compared to sit under him. Other than that, I think the honor democratic norms, they have the right not to sit or to sit under him.
Thank you, sir. Your name again?
My name is Simbabi Jala.
Thank you, Mr. Jala. So we have a gentleman here. Okay, so folks, if you're just joining us, my name is Prince Mova. We are yet at Sampis here on Kerry Street in central Monrovia. We're speaking to Liberians here to give us a perspective on the Supreme Court ruling on yesterday, having to be the 23rd day of April 80, 2025, in which the court declared Majority Speaker Richard Kuhn and his men actions as unconstitutional and also, reaffirming the authority of embattled Speaker Councilor Chief Fernando Kova. Before me, as a gentleman, good evening, good afternoon, how are you doing, sir?
I'm Frank.
What's the name?
I'm Frank Justo.
Okay, give me your perspective.
Thank you very much for the interview. What I would like to say is that the Supreme Court decision yesterday was wrong. The Supreme Court decision was in error, and the Supreme Court is in error.
The Supreme Court is in error. The final arbiter of justice is in error.
It's in error.
Oh, wow, that's great. What do you mean by that?
Thank you. We have a separation of power, no interference, and I believe the Supreme Court interfere in the working of the legislature.
How?
Therefore, and the warrant impeachment.
How did they interfere?
Thank you. When Nebo Saka started, the speaker then was in Italy. When the police decided to petition, to send in a resolution to then the presiding officer who was then the deputy speaker. In that process, they had a struggle. Later, the plenary of the legislature with the higher ballot decision making, they went in that other day, they wrote a resolution saying to the presiding officer but then that they will never sit on the speaker. It was resoluted in plenary. The second thing is that they said that they are moving into a joint tumor on all these kind of resolution of plenary and voted upon. Based upon that decision, their decision of staying away from tumor was legal. The decision of not setting on the speaker was illegal because by then the presiding officer or the speaker were presiding when the speaker was running. So it was a working of the legislature. So anything that the Supreme Court says against that working, that's a complete interference and warrant impeachment. The law, the Constitution gives the Supreme Court a sole authority to interpret constitutional issues and to be the final, it should be the final render jurisdiction into matters of church. The court has said, even though you have deputy speaker presiding, you have for the 3-person, but they are required law, they are laid down law. You did not meet up with those criteria, so therefore your actions were unconstitutional. I disagree with the court. The fact remains, plenary wrote a resolution, had a resolution.
And the court said that plenary was illegal. It was not presided properly.
That's why the court is error. The issue of absenteeism and presidency is a form of government, not the judicial executive. The issue of the speaker being country, he's not presiding, that the Supreme Court see as violation. I see that the Supreme Court does not understand the work of the legislature. To be absent or present at the legislature, you must be essential. What about the speaker? I agree you were in a building. Was it essential? No.
But the court court says no. The court says the speaker was there. He was present and ready to preside. Those are the words.
Was the simply speaker in section?
That's what the court said.
But the court not have the issue of absentee and present common in the legislature. It's not about signing book. The judges sign book of absent and present. The legislature does not sign book. They answer to roll call.
So finally, I have to tell each of you to get to the other gentleman. So now that you say you from your presentation, you are siding with the majority. You are in support of their action that they're not going to respect the court's ruling. Is that what you say?
They put the fact they respected the other branch of the first branch of government.
So you supported the majority.
I support the majority bloc, and the Chief Justice will bring impeachment for interference. She has no right to interfere.
And Kofa and men might come to the Capitol building on Monday to take their offices to ask for the keys.
No, they all sign agreement with the Supreme Court to work with the people. So go with there, they go to our you know. But what we are seeing, the court is in error, the justice is in error, and they warrant impeachment because they have no right of interfering into the branch of government.
So you see the interpretation of the Bureau of Information as an error and interference on the part of the Supreme Court.
Error and interference.
Thank you so much, sir. What's your name again, my brother?
Frank Gusto.
Thanks so much. Okay, folks, so we're taking few pressing inquiry a day. We will be. We should be calling it a day. Let me speak with Ajib Pompom. Ajib Pompom, a very familiar face, is here before our camera. Ajib, good afternoon. Welcome. Gentlemen, gentlemen, we have to. We have over. I mean, a lot of people watching the video and making comments. Welcome, Ajay. How you doing? Welcome, Ajib Pompom. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm fine. I'm grateful for the kind of opportunity you're providing me.
Great. Welcome to our platform.
Oh yeah, I'm grateful to be on your platform.
I'm sure you've been following the discussion.
Certainly.
Just blow us auto speed. What's your perspective? What's your stand?
The situation here is that we have got the arrest agenda. It talks about the issue of rule of law. I certainly miss one of the greatest decisions in our political dispensation. It is a two-way street from the point of what we call the ultra-virus beginning, where two parties was like sounding as victorious in their thinking. And interestingly, it also is almost like the Supreme Court did what then was a mother had cooked. Instead of dividing the food, decided to put all the food into one basket, and una to go low, one son took the father's meat and is eating it, and he said, oh, who gave me that food? Then we'll have to go back again to start sharing it. The Supreme Court not followed well, and it has the authority to make such decisions. What? They just sit so long. Why? You know that you can make that decision. And you have the power to make that decision with respect to interpretation of the law. Why you sat so long?
Do you think the Supreme Court April 23rd ruling was different from December 6th ruling?
I think the issue of the clarification now she makes which should have been ever since, have also been the same ruling, but the issue of retrovirus gave both parties the opportunity that they have won. Now that you have come to clear it is important. But if we are asking you to the Supreme Court, you know that you have that power. Why didn't you do it ever since that the Capitol building have got to melt down in flames? And you know that you can do it, and you did it now. Why didn't you do it ever since when you know you have the power?
And what problem you think that prolonged delay has caused?
It have cost us $1.8 million damages to the Capitol building, right? It have caused us political divisions. It have not stopped. But what we say is that on the progressive side, in terms of national development and growth, is that the country has shown what we call the institutional strength of democracy in terms of work. The country is making progress in terms of how institutions now are becoming strengthful. Gone are those days where the executive could influence any other thing, and you understand it. But it is interesting because the beauty of democracy is they kind of surprises that come out. They keep us murmuring, wondering, but the point here is how do we mature ourselves in terms of how we handle the crisis and the after effect of the kind of political decisions in terms of democracy that is surprising like we are today. And you understand it? But what we want to say is that we are calling on the forces with respect to whether there is about coon blacks, whether it's about the issue or what it is as non-native black. What we now see is that we must respect our institutions. And our institution cover not interference, however, coordinating. Now, if we have to call, then we want to take it from the fanatic side. When he said that he wants a reconciliation committee, it's not just reconciliation committee because a whole lot of things were done to make a reconciliation. It's not just about reconciliation. A whole lot of things has to be handled. Because in the absence of you, we have Speaker Richard Kuhn, right? Being able to administer the affairs with respect to the passage of the budget, which automatically operates now. They all benefited out of. And if it was illegal, how did it happen? And how did the Supreme Court now arrive at this decision? Which of course now we are now calling for reconciliation committee, which other things have got to be looked at. And so yes, the Supreme Court know fully well that it has the power, then we shouldn't have gone to reconciliation now.
The Richard Kuhn blog released a press statement yesterday, rejecting the court's ruling, reaffirming their stance and stating that they will continue to conduct business on behalf of the Liberian people. What do you think will happen if the Kuhn majority bloc does not adhere to the court's ruling?
The question now is that it is not whether the majority black have put on a statement with respect to, I don't want to say using the word defiance. They are not in defiance. What is ready to do them must be given to is their personal. Given that the ruling have come out with respect to it leads from what we call legality now to expediency, and expediency now we want to know who is the problem. The problem now falls on fanatic as to whether he is prepared to accept the resolution. Is he prepared to accept the resolution on the basis of quorum?
He said that.
And
he said, let's go to session and bring your resolution.
If he is to call a quorum, then two things must be involved.
What are the two things?
There are two things on the agenda for which we want to see as to who got the problem, as to whether there can be a plenary decisions as part of a reconciliation commission, right? He wants to settle. And if that have got to be, plenary must convene. The only agenda should be as to whether they reconvening on that day for his speakership, as to whether there can be elections.
Thank you so much.
And if there is an elections, then we know now who got the problem. But if the agenda cannot be adhered to by fanatic, given what the court has said, then we know we have the problem. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, the boss of Hachi Pompon. And we'll speak to two more persons who call the day. My name is Prince. After this, we'll speak to one more person who call the day. Another familiar face is here, rather. Welcome. How you doing, sir?
Let me say thank you.
Funny family, welcome.
Yeah, let me say thank you for the interview and dialogue what you're doing today. This is how we express our grievances, more especially when it comes to the essence of democracy. We are still looking and we are observing, more especially the ruling that just came from the court a few days. In my mind, I think the arrest agenda is a serious contradiction when it comes to the court law. Because the Unity Party, when they are elected, their payload, they will fight corruption, they will also implement the rule of law, and they will also provide agriculture for the well-being of our people. But under the arrest agenda, the rule of law now is critical. Let's look at the situation now at the House of Legislators. The court is the highest decision-making body when it comes to the rule of law. So when they come out with a verdict of President, who is a lawmaker for the district, on the basis of the law, does not up to now not have to tell majority to make a quorum on the basis of the argument to say coming up with a press statement that he will not allude to the rule of law in a democratic country. For me, I see it as a reform, and I see it that we are leading to a case on a very serious thing. Now, if you can,
why you think so?
because no man is above the law. Even the president is not above the law. The law is what governs all of us. The state fall under the law. So for you to be as a lawmaker, to say, not corresponding with the law, that the highest lawmaking body come up with a decision, and you say you will not go in a process with the law, I think we are going to a chaos. So the minority bloc also have a constituents. Now you know, they have a supporters, and they also have people that believe in them. If you say you cannot go by the law, then what will be the outcome of the situation that the lawyer looking at or look at to see how best to bring harmony situation in our country? So these are some of the situations. So for me,
So what do you make of the ruling? Others have said it was belated. Others have said a Supreme Court ruling has caused more problems than good. Others are sided with the majority that they shouldn't follow that ruling. Where do you stand?
no, it was not belated. For me, it's not belated. The law is the law. Councillors need to see how best to strategize, to look in a specific case, not just an ordinary case, to come out with a ruling that will have the propensity to not carry the country to a chaos. So if you see councillors coming up with this type of time, and getting it, that Liberia is a fragile country, and bringing a decision in the interest of the country, not in the interest of personnel, individuals, from the angle of the ruling establishment. But for Liberia holistically, I think it's not belated, it's timely. Because we are discussing the state. The people are angry. And two, our country is on a time bomb, on a serious note, with the proceeding of the current government that we have today. Most of the sector have been broken. Even the turning position. Let's look at the turning position. The government have not yet respected the rule of law when it comes to the turning position. All those who were serving in the turning position, they removed all of them without any justice. Without any rule of law or justice to be implemented in the interest of them. So where are we heading to? These are some of the situations. So the rule of law is the rule of law. So nobody should say it's not timely or belated. No.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for most. Let's speak with the last person. Thank you so much, folks. My name is Prince. I've been here and speaking with Liberians. I'm gonna talk to the last person here. The last person to go. So thanks. I've been here for almost an hour now. I've been speaking with Liberians. My brother, welcome. What's your name?
Thank you. I am Moba
Sese Joe Wakai begin. Thanks for joining us. Welcome. Yeah. So give me your own thought on the ruling on yesterday. Let's talk.
Thank you for giving us the privilege to speak on national issues. You know, this country, the leaders of this country are the ones, the problem of this country. But most especially what is going on at the House of Legislation is that the ruling from the Supreme Court, many of your
the speakers.
Because some of us, we say this, that will not number. They are not doing justice to the country.
The Supreme Court is not doing justice.
Because of the country of the Liberia is not doing justice to the country.
What do you mean by that?
You know, one thing in law, some of us we are not doing that. But one thing in law, they say law is reasoning. Law law is logic. Law is about what? Precedent. What about on whose as long as a precedent is being set? Mind you, you must remember to stand by it at all times. Like someone said, I mean, three branches of government, different powers, right? The Supreme Court of Liberia cannot melt into one legislation function. There is a precedent that even today the speaker, the embattled speaker, the Supreme Court sent a communication to the legislatures. Now hey, you should seize down on the impeachment bill of so and so. And I like that the embattled speaker was the one chair of judiciary.
Doing a 54.
In a 54 legislation. As a president, and let us come out with that reading to that response today. Referring to the siege to the Supreme Court of the land. That hey, we are aware of people in our possession, and she sees that and she want do away is a legislation function. You have nothing to do with. And we saw how things went on in this country, and they proceeded in the form and manner until that people left. That individual was impeached. Today not come down. The judiciary, first of all, for the initial state, the first time for them to go to court, he gave clarity that the majority bloc was in no wrong of, also of the capital building city. They have no right to go into the city of any area within the surrounding of the capital city. The meaningful thing what you're supposed to do that today the country has gone chaos. That the country has gone chaotic. Then you are coming down. You are coming down with a ruling. And me, I like it. And even for the government angle, when they respond.
You like that?
I like it. The law is the law. We must respect the law. We almost subscribe to the law.
But Roger Kuhn, the majority of Roger Kuhn, yeah, they said nothing was to hear what I did.
We almost subscribe to the law. For people who are caught, first of all, and one person who around here who said, either foot, I will not go legal. Let me say it on the media platform again. I will not go legal. I'm 100% political.
Okay. So what the political side are you taking here?
The people who are caused the silly chaotic situation, the calamity to this country, and this silly situation is going after them. Amen. Like yesterday when they were telling us we have nothing, and the ordinary have nothing to do with it. It's a political hub, it's a legislative matter. Ourselves, we believe that they should just go in and see for the manner. Let them find their own solution. The Supreme Court of Liberia cannot melt into that decision. And I appreciate the court, region speaker, whosoever speaker, 100% in support of his press conference that they should not accept anything that will compare them to go on the campus state of our political party. As long as this man is convey a message to stolen our resources that all of the watch as a government speaker, $4 million was passing through his land, creating an embarrassment for the country. But in a good leadership style, like many have said, in a winner war, when you lost the majority, you lost the flow, you lost the gavel. So if he cannot listen, if he who was preaching yesterday, like many days they were questioning a garage grade on the school network, like all of you people yesterday was a rebel lawmaker who removed the speaker, but today you angry. when Fonati Kofa was distributing money on lawmakers to remove Ellis Taylor as a legal luminary who went to school, his whole schooling is law, who follows the law good, who was Danny and Wani with Manaseli when they were milking the resources of Liberia. Just, but he never knew Pastor Tashi. It was not a concern. So today he is running to the Supreme Court for a final ruling. We agree, we accept the ruling of the Supreme Court, and as the government has just responded, we will subscribe to the rule of law. For people who are causing harm to the country, we must treat them in that funny manner.
So you guys say you are in 100% support of the press statement from the majority speaker and the others.
Yes.
So that alone is a violation, a disrespect to the Supreme Court ruling.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you make of that?
It's like under the scene, Senior Yo, Chief Justice of Liberia, responded, I just told you, responded to the horse at the time. Since now on the wire, I told you in Lord, it is logic, it is precedent, right? Since now on the wire, impeachment bill against cabinet. And you listen to the battle speaker today who was chair at the time, who said it is not the right of the Supreme Court to melt it over a legislative function. So where today the Senior Yo is coming from is quoting that in fact she has the power to interfere into legislative function. So they were 100% agreeing with the majority of them.
What do you expect? Are you picturing the legislature, the lower house, in the coming days? Because the other guys are coming there and say, oh, the court are ruled in our favor. And the others are saying, no, we can bow down to you. And then what do you think will happen in the coming days?
Yes, the thing is easy. Like what I said, we respect the Supreme Court ruling, right? I was sitting at the U.S. Embassy when the president passed, the protest passed, the speaker passed. Today, the movie is official. Plate, official six. Fonati Kofa.
Oh, you got some too?
Yes, I was there when they came to go pay the continent to the Vatican.
Oh, you went there with the court?
Yeah. We went there.
With the president?
Yeah, the president went first and left.
Oh.
The president went and left, and he was there to official state is what he used today.
So that means he had official state, then Reggie got official state?
No, a representative one.
No, he got official state. Where I saw it yesterday. That official state.
Yeah, he got official state.
Oh wow, that's how you try.
Representative one.
And official state as well.
Official state. Okay. So that not to my knowledge.
Okay.
But what I'm seeing yet, the court are rule, and we must agree, right? Legitimacy have they given you, but you cannot stand the affair of the country. They see where you questioning the majority bloc to get the 49, it is upon you too to get the 37 to proceed, to get the gavel.
Thank you so much, Baba. Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Okay, for your name again.
I'm Mobile Joe.
Thank you so much. So, Mobile says to Councillor J. Fonade Kofa, the embattled speaker, the court has ruled in your favor. The same way you are prevailing on the majority of blood to count on your or to get it for the night to remove you. You also, the arms is on you to get 37 to conduct the basis of the Liberian people. Thanks for following us. My name is Prince Mobile. I've been here as Sampis, speaking with Liberian citizens to get their views on the Supreme Court ruling. Of course, I've spoken to many of them, but they're giving diverse view. Others are saying, look, the Supreme Court ruling was biased, and others are saying, yes, the Supreme Court was ruled in the right direction. It is time for Richard Kuhn to step down so that Fonade Kofa can take over. Others are saying it is time for, Richard Kuhn cannot buy down. The court ruling is not timely, but the court is political. But thanks for following us. I'm going to be here another time again. My name is Prince Mobile. Bye-bye, I'm out.